Today we are at the outdoor velodrome at Preston Park in Brighton. We're going crit racing and I've never done anything like this before. Guys, welcome back to the What Life. Let's roll. So a buddy of mine, Harry, told me about this little outdoor velodrome that's down in Brighton. It's called Preston Park. And told me that I should come down and do a race. Today there's two races. One that starts at 9:30, that's the 3-4, and that's followed up by a E123 at 10:30. My little kind of confession is that I haven't actually got a place for the 3-4. I missed the sign-on. Told everyone I was doing it, and then I forgot to book in, and then by the time I went to book in, all the places had gone. So I emailed the guys and I basically booked on to the 123. I don't have a 123 license. I'm still a fourth cat, fourth cat with no points. And anyway, they told me, look, just come down. It's taken me an hour and a half to drive down here in the hope that I can jump into the 3-4 because someone doesn't turn up. It's cold and I'm hoping that encourages at least one person to stay in bed today. How do I get in here? Where's the gate? Anyway, this is Preston Park down in Brighton and we're going crit racing. Hopefully in a 3-4. If not, I'm going to try and wangle my way into a 1-2-3. So just had a quick chat with Andy, who's the race organizer. And basically I can't jump into the 1-2-3 because what you probably don't know is that races are actually hosted by race organizers, and a lot of time entries like on at their discretion. So like if someone wants to jump in, you know, they could in theory let a fourth cat enter a 1-2-3. It's not like a hard and fast. I don't believe so. It's like a hard and fast, like there is some level of discretion as to people entering different races. Anyway, they're not going to let me, which is fair enough. I completely understand that. I wouldn't let me. But basically means I got to hang around until 10 minutes before the race to see whether I've got a spot, and then we'll figure out whether I'm going racing today. So I mean, it's freezing cold. Someone's got to not turn up. Anyway, for some insider information, there is no like parking like directly at the venue. Out on the road, you can park for free, and there is a little car park. It cost me £6 for 4 hours, or no, until 1 o'clock. So on a Sunday. So I'm parked in their little Preston Park car park. And yeah, I mean, if I don't get a spot in the race, I guess just gonna find me warming up, doing a few loops. Hopefully it'll work out, guys. I got a feeling it's going to work out. 40 riders, I think, in the 3-4. I'm going to go and get ready, I guess, and just hope that I get a race spot. Right, it's 20 to 9. And the 3-4 starts at 9:30. I've got to go and check whether I've got a place at like maybe 9:15. I'm going to warm up as if I'm in the race. I've signed on, so like I paid my money, just they won't let me race in the E123, which is cool. I'm hoping that I can get a spot in the 3-4, and it's chip time, so I have to sort my time, I have to sort my bib all like 10 minutes before the race. Not ideal. Right, so let's have a little catch up. I'm just going to share it anyway. Last week I was in Strada which was cool, like very cool. But before that I had like a little press trip or PR trip to Versailles with iFit, and my ex-girlfriend was there, and she bought like her new boyfriend. I don't know why I'm sharing this, just like bear with me. She brought her new boyfriend with her, and like it kind of got to me, and I'm just saying this because like it just gets in my head, like as it would with anyone, right? Like it gets in my head, and the whole reason I ride bikes and the whole reason I get into like outdoor stuff and fitness and running and cycling is because it makes me feel like me. So today, like, I want 50 minutes out racing my bike where I don't have to think about anything. Like, that's the goal for today. So I really hope I get a place. Yeah, just like, I'm good. Not that I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, like, I am good. It just like, it gets in my head just seeing someone that you dated, like, bring someone else to an event, and like, it's just like, anyway, when I talk about like just liking to ride bikes, like just enjoying ride bikes, this is what I mean. Like, this is why I do it, and I do it whether I had like a YouTube channel or someone to share it or not. Like, I would still do it because it makes me feel like me. So this is me telling you guys that, like, if you have things going on, like, just get yourself out the door and go and do something. Like, go and do the things that make you feel happy and make you feel like you, because that's super important. Plus he's a triathlete, which means I could easily whip him in a bike race. Anyway, we are all good. We're on the wind space today, and yeah, just like treat it like another race. I've never raced on a velodrome or an outdoor velodrome, banked corners. Just plan is, like I said, just ride my bike for 50 minutes, forget about the world, and like enjoy it, I guess. Sit in the group, try not to do anything too crazy, like don't be stupid about it, hold moves. Yeah, just guys, just want to go ride my bike. Seems like I'm not the only one that parks here, so that's good. So I'm going leggings today, like long bibs. It's really cold, like thermals, and a thick jersey. I think that's what we'll get away with today. Right, let's go and do a few laps of the velodrome and at least see whether we can get used to it. This lad's 18 years old. I'm gonna get my ass handed to me by another teenager. So to be honest with you, I don't really know what to do because I'm not in the race just yet. All the riders are signing on now. No one's on the track yet, and I've never been here before, so I don't know how it works. No one's on the track yet, but as soon as people start getting on the track, I'm going to get on the track and warm up. Obviously there's a few guys on rollers down here. There's also where I actually parked, obviously you saw, that seems to be where a lot of people go and park for the morning race. And yeah, hopefully I get a spot. I'd love to not have driven an hour and a half for no reason. We'll see, but as soon as we're on the, as soon as they open up the track, I guess, or other people start getting on the track, I'm going to dive on and get some laps in. If nothing else, just to stay warm. I don't think I'm going to get a warm-up in, but I think I will get a race in.
Max.
Yes, please, yeah. We're in. We're in the race. We're in the, I signed up, or I registered for the E123 so I could pay them, and then we're changing it to the 2-3, to the 3-4. So keep all the same transponder and stuff. Delay the race a little bit, so I should get a couple of loops in, and then it's just full send. No advice for you. One of the kids up top, who I spoke to very briefly, said it usually stays together the first little bit and then it'll break up. So you've got to kind of follow moves, be in the moves. I don't know what I'm talking about, let's be honest. Thank you so much. Right, we're in, I think.
My legs are completely fucked off.
So we're going to get a few minutes to bowl around, get at least 4 or 5 loops in, laps. Am I in the mood for today? Nah, not really. Are we going to send it? Fuck yeah. We'll see what happens. Yeah, just looking forward to be on my bike, and it's a fucking nice day. let's get a proper warm up in. Okay, let's go bike racing. A couple of things for you guys to pay attention to. Obviously got the watts at the bottom of the screen. This one goes off like a bit of a rocket. It's ridden, the start's definitely ridden a bit like a Swift race. It's like hard and fast. You can see it like really stretch out. We're also running the bottle cam, which is like one of my favorite cams, and obviously a track like this is perfect for it. And you can see a couple of guys go off the front, so they're I didn't, this is my first time, and one thing I'm definitely learning about bike racing is, especially like these kind of crit circuit races, I've never done a outdoor velodrome before. Like, knowing what you're doing or knowing a circuit is actually really important, certainly in my perspective anyway. So this was the first time for me. So the start of the race was me just trying to figure things out, like trying to figure out the corners, because I hadn't taken them at this speed before, I hadn't taken them with other people before. So a lot of the start of this race was me just figuring it out, sitting in, and I was more than happy. On a 3-4 down in Brighton, Preston Park, more than happy just to sit in and kind of like enjoy the ride for a bit. But you can see a couple of the guys out front try and take it out quite hard, and it kind of stretches out a little bit. And I think a couple of guys get off the front to start with. You can just maybe see a couple of guys off the front, but then the pack, like, we do end up chasing them down. And that's kind of like the story that we get kind of repeated throughout the day. Obviously we've got speed, 31 miles an hour is 50k an hour, so we're obviously booking it at the moment, which was quite nice. I'm obviously just sat in the wheels, not doing any of the hard work. I kind of alternated between kind of going down the drops and up on the hoods, and I didn't feel like it made a huge amount of difference when I was in the group, because obviously kind of when you're in the group literally just getting towed around. I had a nice low average wattage for the race, so I was obviously doing something right in terms of positioning within the group, in terms of being protected. The one thing I wasn't doing right was positioning within the group in terms of making breaks, because what ends up happening, as you'll see in a bit, is two guys basically go off the front and then that kind of just, like, you know, they just roll turns for the whole race and just ride away from the group. So I don't have, you know, that I probably don't have those watts, but you can just about make out here that there's a couple of guys off the front, and it's kind of like basically what was happening was people were attacking, bringing the group forward. We're rolling around quite quickly, 50k an hour still. Two riders off the front, a couple of guys trying to chase them down, then the bunch chasing those two or three riders down. And that's basically what would happen all the time. I'll be honest with you, I didn't see the break when the two riders end up riding off the front. I had no idea. Like I said, going into this, you know, I just wanted to like just melt into the kind of mix for 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and just like enjoy the ride. And here's, I think this is a little bit of a sketchy kind of moment coming up as well in a second, because there were 38-ish riders, I think, like 35 riders, out on course all at the same time, and we're one big bunch, and that it's not like disconcerting, but like you have to pay attention, because, you know, it takes like 50 seconds, like 48 seconds to do a lap. So, you know, there really isn't much time. Here we go, just one rider comes through, another rider wobble. Okay, yeah, that's kind of like that. If that had gone down, that would have kind of really ruined my day, but would have made for a great YouTube. Anyway, there were moments like that kind of throughout this whole race. And the other race that happens after this, which is the E123, they've got like 18, 20 riders total. We've got like 35, 38 riders. And at times, you know, you're 4 or 5 up on this track. So at one point, some guy's bars hit the outside railing as we're going along at 50k an hour. So, you know, there's definitely a few hairy moments within this race. And that didn't bother me, like, just to be clear. Like, I say afterwards that, you know, you pay a lot of attention doing this, like a huge amount of attention, not enough. And when I say not enough, like, I completely missed the lap board. I'll talk you through that in a second. But I couldn't like not concentrate, because there's a corner every bloody 5-6 seconds. You know, you get the straight, you roll the straights for like 8 seconds, you know, put the watts down as we're chasing another move, and then you're into another corner. So you're always paying attention. Even if I had a bottle, I probably wouldn't have been able to drink it, because
within this race, there's very little time when you're kind of strung out like we are now, like strung out one by, nice single file. That didn't happen too often. Like, it'd always get pulled back. So that's basically my thoughts. And here we go. I think a couple of guys end up sending it out along the outside, and this is around about the point when the break actually happens. Like, I think a couple of guys go, they get brought back, and then another couple kind of go over the top, and that's basically how the two get away that we have up front. And ultimately, what ends up happening is two riders end up front. One guy gets caught in the middle of nowhere and then basically has to come back to the group, and then our group doesn't chase them down. And I say our group doesn't. I kind of, not really knowing what I'm doing, don't really know too much about positioning. I thought my positioning was quite good, all things considered, if I'm honest with you. And I kind of get into the first like 10-12 minutes, I was just like figure it out, and then I started getting into the mix, started moving up, trying to find better positions in the group, trying to kind of just on the off chance that I thought that I might just like, do you know what, let's see how this goes. And I enjoyed the whole thing. I think we have a little moment here where someone just kind of comes out and but you're always kind of like shoulder to shoulder with someone, especially with this many riders. Okay, so here's the thing. I was paying so much attention to like my line through corners, not trying to chop people up, like where my bars are relative to other riders, that I didn't pay any attention to. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I paid loads of attention to the time, and I've actually put the time, I've time-stamped this race as it's meant to be a 40-minute crit. So I think it's kind of like 40-minute, which would be 35 plus 5, if anything, 50 seconds a lap, something like that. And I've never been down here before, so I actually didn't know the form, but the race organizers, they didn't like shout or anything like, 5, 4, 3. There was just a lap board. My dumb ass just didn't look at the lap board, so I had no idea that this race was finishing when it finished. I was keeping an eye on my head unit. I thought it was like 40 plus 5 laps, whatever it ends up being. I had no idea that this race was finishing when it was finishing. I was like, oh. In many respects, I probably felt like my ex-girlfriends, but never mind. It was a lot of fun. Like, in terms of bike racing, I just kind of miss out on, and I wouldn't have really known what to do on that final lap anyway. And you'll see the watts that come through, and it kind of makes sense now that I play it back to myself. I can see like, oh look, obviously we're coming into the last lap, because people just start hammering it, and I was just thinking, oh, like, here we go again. Some people just want to try and make another break before we get to the last 5 laps. Anyway, so it was a little bit tetchy. Like, one thing I did notice was this many riders in a 3-4. Couple of comments. This is quite interesting. Guy in the red and the orange helmet. Like, if you're going to make a move, probably don't start waving your arms around before you do it, because there was just shouts of right as soon as you could kind of, it was, look, who am I to talk? Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I definitely saw him doing that before it happened. Like, I saw him like chatting to that guy, because this was a dead silent race. Like, when we're up at Abingdon, I like having a laugh and chatting to a few of the guys. This was a pretty quiet race, other than the odd kind of like, hold your line. So when someone starts chatting to someone and then waving their arm, like, I think we were all kind of clued in. And at this point, there's 2 riders off the front, so I think these guys were trying to make a break to kind of like get away from the group again. So, but the 2 riders off the front are basically like well over half a lap ahead of us now. So this would have been a second break, like a second selection. So it would have been like 1, 2, and then another 2 or 3, and then the bunch was their plan. But it didn't quite work out like that, because everyone just kind of puts a bit of a shift in, and we bring it back. And this is the thing that kind of like, it's like a touch annoying for me, and it's probably why I've got to actually go back to Preston Park. And if you see the watts, like, these are quite decent watts as we close down these moves. This is probably why I've got to go back down to Preston Park, is like, I didn't realise, obviously, the race was finishing when it was finishing, but then once I get into it, like, my positioning's actually not too bad. I end up like kind of sitting reasonably kind of in a point of the race where I could actually follow moves, or if I saw 2 guys off the front, so my positioning kind of got better. The only problem was that when I decided, when the whole group, and this is basically, now we're cutting to the very end of the race, the whole group kind of comes past me, and I'm like, oh, why is everyone rushing? What's the race? What are we doing here? And then I suddenly realized, oh my God, this is the last lap. But by the time I kind of realize it, the entire field's in front of me, and I'm like, well, I haven't done this before. I just kind of just was happy just to be like, oh, I think I've balls this up completely, when I realize. So the whole field's basically in front of me, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're on, this is the bell lap. And they did ring a bell. That was the dead giveaway. But, we kind of come into this final straight. A few guys kind of give up the ghost a little bit. That guy who comes past me on the right, I think he's the guy that lapped us. So he's the race winner. And we crossed the line. But there we go.
Preston Park is quite intense, lads. Quite intense. People hitting the barriers. Lots of bit of yapping in the pack, in the bunch. I had no idea what was going on. I just heard the bell at we've done 38 minutes. I thought it was 40 plus 5. I heard the bell, and then the group took off, and apparently that was the last lap, so should have paid a bit more attention to that, I think. But lots of concentration for that. A lot of concentration. To be honest, I wouldn't have even known how to race the last lap on the velodrome. I don't know how you do it. I think you just increase the pace and then throw your sprint in when you can, but I've got no experience of doing that. This is personal opinion. It's not as fun as the airport at Abingdon or Lee Valley. I kind of enjoyed those a bit more. It feels a bit like NASCAR racing. You are just going round in circles. I mean, it's good, but Abingdon, for me, the way I like to race, a bit more of a laugh. It was kind of hard. Bit interested to see what my stats are. How'd you do?
It was alright, yeah. I just came in about 9th or 10th.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Happy with it?
Yeah, it was alright. First proper bunch sprint, so I got a little bit nervous.
Well done, man. How'd you do?
I think I came 4th at the last.
Oh, nice.
Last lap, second to last.
Yeah, but there were 2 off the front, right? And then 4th in the bunch.
Yeah. So they got 1 and 2.
Okay.
They lapped the whole thing.
Did they lap us? Did they count on the back? Okay, I didn't realise.
Just made it through.
I didn't realise they made. I didn't realise they caught us back on.
Yeah. And then went again. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Monster.
Right, well done, dude. Also forgot to mention that 2 guys rode off the front, which I would have hit. Well done, man. Which rode off the front during the race, which I wouldn't have known how to, I wouldn't have had the watts to keep up with that, but it's fun. I'd probably come down again and do it. It's quite intense though. That's way more intense than Abingdon.
Let me throw some stats at you very quickly. I should have worn a skin suit today. It was boiling out there. I was so hot. We ended up doing 29k. I mean, that race ended up being 38 minutes. It was meant to be 40 plus 5. That's where I went wrong, because I was looking at my timer, my head unit, thinking, oh, it'll be 40 minutes plus 5. I completely missed the 5 lap board, missed the 4, missed the 3, missed the 2, and then I heard the bell and I was like, that can't be the last lap. We've done 35 minutes, 36 minutes. Turns out it was the last lap. Anyway, average speed of 41k an hour, max speed of 55k an hour. Power wise, I didn't find it too intense, but obviously I didn't sit on the front too long. I didn't go off the front. Chased down a few moves, but nothing too crazy. Average power of 213. My max was 914, and considering I didn't join in on the sprint, I'm quite happy with that. Normalised at 253, and it felt all right. 3.3 watts per kg for that. For a 3.4, like, you know, other than the two riders that went off the front, and obviously I didn't do anything, so like take this as it is. I didn't do anything, I didn't try and pull off the front. You know, I was just get out there and kind of roll around with the boys. Yeah, it didn't feel like it was crazy. I didn't feel like out of place. Just lots of chat about holding lines and stuff. People's bars not nudging the outside railing, which was a little bit sketchy. Right, I'll debrief properly in a sec. Let me get back to the car. Come on then, tell me, how'd it go?
I thought it went quite well. Bit of a hectic one today, considering the ones from last week.
What was the difference between this week and last week?
Last week it finished, well, it was quite similar. It finished in a bunch sprint last time, but this time it was about the whole peloton in the sprint. So
that was quite intense. Like the fact that there was like still like 25, 30 people in the bunch sprint.
Yeah, definitely. It was crazy. I mean, I came in about 9th or 10th and was about to get swamped down the right-hand side of the track. It was crazy.
What's the best thing to do when there's like 25 people in a bunch and then you hit on the bell lap? What's the best thing? Do you
send a flyer, man?
Oh, really? Just send it from the bell?
Yeah. I mean, what I tried to do today was beat about the first front 5 bikes, and then if anyone goes, hop on the tail. I tried to squeeze around the outside on the right, but didn't quite happen today, unfortunately.
Fair enough. I found that like when the race was getting faster, it was drifting to the outside.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's
a bit sketchy because then the only way to get back is to be on the inside.
Yeah. No.
And I was like,
it's tough. It's a tough circuit. I mean, the cornering, like, it's taken me about 4 or 5 times racing on the circuit to understand the corners. But some of these boys have been hammering the corners for years, so. Definitely takes a while to get used to, but you did very well for the first time.
No, I kind of enjoyed it, but it was way more. It's like so much more intense than like a Goodwood or an Abingdon, where you can just kind of like switch off and like laugh with a mate for 20 seconds, and then you get back in. Yeah. That was all like
pedaling full gas the whole time. Yeah. Do you know what I mean about the corners? What I said earlier.
Yeah, like I didn't. Honestly, I had no idea what was going on. I was just like, don't hit his bars, don't don't cross anyone up behind me. Like,
did you get a couple of shouts?
Not to me.
Yeah, no.
Like I felt like, I mean, do let me know if I did otherwise, but I felt like I behaved very well.
No, I thought you were picking great lines. I mean, I was getting yelled at from behind for about half an hour. So.
Yeah. There were a few people in there. This is so, as it's always the way with bike racing. The thing that worries me is when I feel like some people might hold grudges, like, and then like, I don't know.
No. I think it's all friendly, like, especially at this level, it's just it's a learning process, really, isn't it? I mean, the first time I came here, I was all over the track, but people cut you some slack, definitely. Yeah,
I think what I was trying to do, having never done it before, was like just base myself off the red line, the blue line, and just make sure that if you're crossing that, if you're crossing away from it by like 2-3 feet, you're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So like, you know, give yourself like maybe a foot to move, but if you're going 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah. I mean, in the wind as well today. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if your viewers know, we're down by the sea, so the wind was battering around. I'm running 50 mil wheels. And I was getting torn.
I felt that coming into that bottom corner a lot, coming into that little bottom corner.
Coming into the headwind, definitely. That's why I think a brake struggled to stick.
Yeah. Oh, well done, Diddy. Are you going to do this one again, or like, what's your usual?
I'll be here next week, definitely.
Okay. I might not be here next week.
Just a few tune-up races before the season starts.
Right, let's do a quick debrief as I'm heading home now. I needed that. I was like, that was cool. Like, I needed it. Like, it made me feel good. Really nice group of guys, and like just chatting to people after the race was nice. A few people just said that like with that many people, it gets a little bit tetchy because it all stayed together, and I have to agree with that. That was like my one bit of feedback about that. Like, I watched the E123, and there were 12 people in the bunch and then 6 or 7 off the front. So, you know, 20 riders. I feel like we had almost 40. I think 40 is the max capacity. We had 3 riders that didn't turn up. I took one of their spots, so effectively we got like 38 riders. Very different to like Abingdon, or like even down at Odd Down. There's little moments where you can kind of switch off a little bit, even in the bunch, because you can just kind of sit. But that, like, there was no switching off. Like, every corner you're just worrying about like how far your bars are. Well, I worry about how far my bars are from someone else's bars and stuff like that. Will I come down and do another Preston Park? I'm going to be completely honest with you, it's not my favorite style of racing, that kind of thing. I can see why people like it. I think Abingdon, like, I think Odd Down, they're just such good laughs. That was slightly different in that, like, quite intense. It's very much like about the bike racing. And I also like to, you know, just make it a bit of a laugh as well. So that's it. I'm going to wrap this one up here, guys. Thanks for joining in. Please do like and subscribe. I'm now verified on Strava, so my link is down in the description, so do give me a follow. And all my details, all my rides, all my training is in there. I actually felt quite good today. Guys, I will see you on another one soon.